The most texts I got this weekend, Coca, were about Craig Kimbrel. Craig Kimbrel is a potential, where do you have him, Hall of Fame? Not first ballot. My guess is Craig Kimbrel makes it to Cooperstown. Craig Kimbrel, if you can watch this on YouTube or DraftKings, he's the one who his shoulders hunch over and his arm hangs down. God, our teams faced Craig Kimbrel so many times. I don't know if you can go back to Marlins from 2002 to 2017 against Craig Kimbrel. I'm almost positive that we never got a hit off that guy. Obviously, I only remember the bad when it comes to running a team, maybe everything. He was just good. But now he's done. He is finished. It happens. Father Time, you win. Craig Kimbrel trying to hang on, was in AAA with the Braves. The Atlanta Braves called him up, and it was a big deal because for whatever reason, the Braves aren't playing well, which they're not. For whatever reason, the bullpen has been faltering and hurt, which it is. For whatever reason, the media and fans alike have this view of names. When it's a name you used to love, you feel as though that player is the player you're going to get. It never works that way. When you try to go to the well too many times, trust me, as a guy who goes to the well too many times, I assure you, eventually the water is stale and stinky. Craig Kimbrel is not a good pitcher anymore. Craig Kimbrel was brought up by the Braves because they needed an arm because they had just had an extra inning game. And everyone went crazy when one day later, Craig Kimbrel was put off the team. He was designated for assignment one day after being put on the roster. And the reason people are upset about it is that for whatever reason, you're under the impression that Craig Kimbrel was upset about this, as though the Braves didn't communicate to Craig Kimbrel what is going on. I can assure you that when they signed 9-time All-Star Craig Kimbrel to a contract and he was pitching in minor leagues, that's because he gave permission for him to pitch in the minor leagues. You can't assign Craig Kimbrel to the minor leagues. He's got to approve any assignment. And when he signs a contract, which is a minor league contract, what you do as part of those contracts with players who have the right not to pitch or play in the minor leagues is you get them to waive that right. You get them to extend permission to the team to have the player play in the minor leagues. This is standard front office. When you've got a player like Craig Kimbrel, and you are doing that provision, you speak to the agent and to the player. Hey, we don't have a spot. We'd like it for depth at AAA. If you want to go down there, don't feel like you have to buy the spread after every game, even though you're the richest one on the team. Don't feel concerned that you're not playing in front of a lot of fans. Go stay sharp. It gives you something to do so you don't have to drive the kids to school. And if we need you, we'll let you know. But don't count on it. Ding, ding, ding. The need happens. This is not one of those moments that's captured on YouTube where a young player gets promoted and it's the new social media craze. You don't do that with a 9-year all-star veteran. What you do is you call him and you say, Craig, we're going to be making a move after the game. We're going to add you to the roster. But Craig, it's going to be short. We're doing this as a bridge. It's a violation of how we deal with players in general, where we never tell players whether when they're brought up, it's going to be for a short or a long time. And the reason we don't tell players how long they're going to be in the big leagues is that if you tell them they're only coming up for a cup of coffee, you can bet your sweet bippy there's going to be a back, a hamstring, a shoulder, an elbow. There'll be something to put that player on the major league injured list so that player will get major league service time and paid at the major league rate. Again, there is no team in baseball who, when they call up a young player, says, you're here for the long run, or you're only here for a day, a week, or a month. You say nothing. Welcome to the show. Work hard. Good luck. Your locker's just over there. Get ready to carry candy to the bullpen. That type of stuff. But when you've got a player, a veteran like a Craig Kimbrel, it's totally different. You know that he's not going to take advantage of your injured list. You know he's not going to take advantage of the major league injured list. So therefore, you simply tell the player how it's going to be and what the circumstance is that is likely to happen, because you don't know for sure whether you're going to take him off the roster after a game, but you do know that there is the possibility, and you let the player know. And for whatever reason, fans have this view. Why can't we just be honest? Why can't you just come out and tell the fans, we're bringing up Kimbrel, he's here for 24 hours? Because you don't know that for sure. Because there are players who could get hurt. There could have been something that would happen that Kimbrel would have stayed an extra day, an extra 4 days. It could have been the person taking his spot on the roster we thought was ready, but then is not totally ready because he didn't get the final check from the medical team that he needed. There are myriad things that can happen that screw up your plan as you do roster management, as you're sending players in, up, down. So fans are not a part of the equation. They're not a part of the conversation. What I would have liked the Braves to have done to alleviate some of this was to be more upfront, but the problem is they're going through something, man. They are so bad. I would like the Braves to have simply said, hey, yeah, we designated Craig Kimbrel. I know that sounds crazy, but Craig was aware the whole time of what we were doing. We had a roster situation, and this was the move that made the most sense at this time. I am all in favor of that type of discourse. I think it makes sense. On the other hand, when you don't have that communication, which, by the way, I didn't really have much as president of the Marlins in terms of truthful communication with you all, but truthful communication can really change a narrative. And in this case, one of the reasons the Braves had no particular reason to change this narrative is if they weren't the bad guys here, you'd go back to focusing on how bad the team is doing. When you can focus even for a day, a minute, or a post on how bad and unprofessional they were to tool and fool with Craig Kimbrel, that's pretty good for the Braves, because they're not talking about the fact that they absolutely are getting crushed. That could be a reason. Just remember what our Braves did. They had fought all the way back to over 500 back on May 18th. And since then, they've won 3 out of their last 17 games. It's just incredible. They are absolutely struggling in a way that could be season ending. They're losing games by a run, by 2 runs. 12 of the losses are by 1 or 2 runs. It just happens, Coca. It just happens.